Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 48th edition of Coffee with Ashish. And today we've got a very special guest with us, Hussain Patel from TripJack. And, it's also one of these amazing, inspiring stories. And I'm sure we'll hear it from Hussain more when the conversation starts. But I think it's absolutely amazing if you uh, and I know over the last 47 sessions or so on Coffee with Ashish, we have celebrated all the entrepreneurs. We've had entrepreneurs coming in from family legacy business. We have looked at first generation entrepreneurs. We've looked at entrepreneurs from tier two, tier three cities where there is no startup ecosystem. So I think as we also near close to the golden jubilee 50 sessions of Coffee with Ashish, we are really lucky. We feel really lucky and blessed to have shared the journeys and inspiring stories of so many entrepreneurs in India. And through this platform, we feel so blessed that across the world people have been able to hear these stories. And I think today's story is absolutely no different. And TripJack, as many of you may be aware of, is one of the India's most foremost P2P travel portals, which has been over the last decade or so constantly evolving, pivoting its business model, and has actually worked towards hand holding and helping all the distributors and agents in their ecosystem with the best technology platforms, easy to use. Many times in the B2B space, people use this overuse this word of the training and hand holding the agents. But I think there are very few companies who can actually handhold and support these agents in tier 2, tier 3 towns who may not be very tech friendly, but they do have their own dedicated loyal base of customer base. So I think it's really important and pertinent to recognize that, and I think TripJack has done it. And even if you see in terms of the overall value proposition which they offer to the customers, whether it's about automated payments, real-time settlements, API XML based, across 300 airlines, 300,000 hotels. They've got a mobile app on the go. The agents can use it. They've got post-booking service support automation. They've got the largest network of global airfares. So I think the product stands on its own, and it's been loved by a lot of agents. And I think it's also particularly amazing to see the story of Hussain. I was reading about you, Hussain, and as a fellow entrepreneur, I have deepest respect for people who start early. Especially, I was reading that you started supporting your dad, and everybody who's attending today knows about Atlas Tours for sure. And I think you started at the age of 16, if I'm not wrong, supporting
That's
your dad in the office, juggling between your studies and supporting him in the forex division. And then you completed your studies and joined the business in I think 2009 or 10, overseeing the forex department. You also tasted on the ground operations. You've done group leader roles in Saudi Arabia. As we all know, Atlas has been known for her Jumrah segment. So you've also, been on the ground, done the hard grilling work, operations, alliances, managing the show on the ground. You've done that, and you've been instrumental in also then taking the company online. And over the last decade or so, you have actually led the technology transformation journey of the overall Atlas group as well, and you have headed their online travel business in the name of TripJack, as we know now. And I think it's really amazing to see the way you have scaled this company in a matter of only 7 to 8 years, and it's become a household name. And talking about household name, many of you might be aware of that recently TripJack has announced a fantasy league as IPL has started. And for many of you who may not know about it, I have a small slide. So, and I'm sure Hussein would love to talk in depth about it, because it's something which is up and running and happening, in which you earn TripJack coins as you per match based on your performance. You also get bonus cash when you play the matches, and there are mega prizes for top winners, and all the travel agents can be a part of this, and it goes along with the IPL league. So I'm sure Hussein would love to talk about it in detail. So with this, a very warm welcome to you, Hussein, on Coffee with Ashish. We're
Thank you.
really happy to have you with us. And with
Thank you
this, I'm
so
going
much.
to hand it over to Ashish to have a conversation with you while I sit back and enjoy my coffee.
Thank you, Karthik. Thank you so much.
How's your coffee, Hussain?
Great, great. Thank you. Really
You
appreciate
know, I've actually always been and personally very fascinated by second and third generation entrepreneurs in the travel business because I've always held it against them that I don't see enough of them coming into their father's business. And obviously, they move away to different industries. But having said that, we talk about business transformation. We're talking about transforming our companies. What I would like to hear is that how did you transform yourself personally to change your DNA from Atlas's DNA, which was a typical pilgrimage, Hajj, Umrah, starting from what Crawford Market was it the first branch, and
it.
then moving into a different league altogether. And your brother and your father, how did they all adapt to this new journey?
So first, let me start by giving you a background and the thought process of the first generation who started the business in 1987.
Right.
The business was founded by my father, Mr. Afzal Patel, and his brothers, Mr. Said Patel and Rizwan Patel. They had a very humble beginning and started off by accepting Dubai visas and air ticketing inquiries, which at that time issuance was done through airline offices or through East-West travels, where my uncle would physically go and get the tickets issued himself. These were early days where they never said no to anything that the customer wanted and learned the tricks of the trade very quickly. And gradually, they ventured into the B2B consolidation business within 2 years of starting business. So the consolidation business for Atlas is very, very old, from 1990. And they, continued to pursue that dream and gradually became one of the largest aggregators in the western part of India. The DNA of Atlas Travels is hard work, persistence, and integrity, which will never change. And the mantra has been carried the same in TripJack. I do not want to change that because those are the three things that we live by, and I think that's what we all are going after. I initially had the liberty of creating my own team right from the beginning, which is why I was being judged by my other colleagues in the organization. And besides this, we were focusing on the new business line of taking the company online, which was the need of the hour. And most people encouraged me to do that and supported me in every way possible. So I could foresee the potential of having a cutting edge technology. So from initial stages, we started working on aligning our firm to have a superior and robust technology to provide the best experience to our agents and the end users. I believe that the technology needs to be changed every 5 to 6 years. Hence, last year we introduced a completely new platform, more robust, basis our experience of running the online business since the last 8 years. And by far, I'm confident in saying that we've created one of the best technology platforms available in the B2B space.
That seems amazing. I'm of course looking forward to meeting Mr. Afzal Patel himself on Coffee with Ashish in November, as you know. And obviously, I will catch up more with them on the Hajj and Umrah, which is again pilgrimages has always fascinated me personally. But coming back, where do you see yourself go from here?
So I'll tell you honestly, the industry has been so kind to us, and the numbers were growing consistently month on month pre-COVID. The impact of COVID obviously started globally in January. Since we do business with travel companies in China and various other countries globally, we did anticipate a slowdown of business in India as well. Fortunately, we created a good business continuity plan, which was really helpful during the lockdown. It has helped us a lot. Travel partners were praising us a lot that they were very appreciative of the way we handled the business. So our learnings overall have been put into action, and slowly but gradually we started working on technology and brought in a lot of things within the lockdown itself to help us grow our business. So we did a lot of customer acquisition. We did 3,500 travel agents new activation in lockdown. So we were not quiet. We were very aggressive. We kept on acquiring customers because the customers made us feel that we've done something better than what others have done. So we thought we are different and we can create a bigger impact. With that confidence, we started the customer acquisition, and the market was really good. It really helped us. The future for TripJack has always been into B2B space, which we are really good in and we're excelling from the last 30 years. New products is something which we are going to get into as we start off from here again. A newly launched hotel product is really intuitive and recommends the travel partners which hotels to sell to which type of customers. For example, a business traveler, he has a very different need than a leisure traveler. A A business traveler is more concerned about the bed quality, the breakfast, and the gym, etc. And a leisure traveler wants a swimming pool, a kids' play area, close proximity to shopping malls, tourist attractions. So, basis the data that we capture and basis the ML that we have created, we give recommendation to travel agents of various hotels that he can book on TripJack. So the hotel segment is where we see a lot of potential since the market is really huge, an area where we can bring in new content on the platform to help travel agents improve their revenues.
Right, right. And anyway, post-COVID, or rather during COVID, people have been talking about, of course, the internet penetration, the way it's hit the roof. But more importantly, the travel industry would have to move beyond being purely transactional to more experiential, because you would vouch for it that it's been just a transaction. Hotel, for example, which you talked about, has been nothing more than a location and a price search. But obviously, I take it there'd be more values. Hotels are also understanding. Tariffs are being more flexible and so on. But coming back to your own business plan, you would have, closed, let's put it, March of 2020, although you went into a lockdown probably 23rd itself, March. You would have closed at a certain level in your balance sheet and your turnover. Now, two questions in one is that at what stage in the coming years do you see coming to that level in terms of the top line? And second, of course, top line aside, the model would have changed to have reached to that top line. So, so it's a double loaded question.
So I think there are two questions, and the answer is very simple. That it depends on how aggressively you can increase your market share. So if I was dealing with 100 customers and I'm doing 50% of their business today, if I can increase my business of travel agents that I acquire by 100%, I can still do that business. So it truly depends on me that how soon can I bring that business back to the pre-COVID levels. The market will remain at 30, 40, 50% of what people can do, because obviously people cannot travel as much as they can travel. So if there was no new customer acquisition, then probably it would have taken me by the mid of next year to reach to that level, which is what everyone feels, and I think I agree, because I'm seeing that trend. To be honest, I was expecting the business to start much later than what it is today, and we closed about 40% of our pre-COVID business already this month, what we are projecting. So it truly depends on how soon can we acquire more customers, and that's why we showed the aggression and we acquired 3,500 new travel agents in the last 3 to 4 months, that we are today at 40%. Otherwise, this could have been at 25 to 30%. So that's the difference. Besides this, I think new products which we can bring into the platform, and those products, if we start selling to our existing customers plus the new customers, then we can reach that point much faster. So we are going after that. And personally, I feel trust is the new currency of travel. I feel travel agents will play an extremely important role in bringing the industry back to the pre-COVID levels. Travelers have had a very better experience managing their bookings on B2C websites, connecting with call centers has been difficult, and even after long waits, their answers were not satisfactory. On the other hand, travel agents have been proactive, they got connected seamlessly. So there's a difference between pure personalization and standardization. And I think a mix of both has been offered by a travel agent, and that will be a very crucial breakthrough which our industry should wait and see. So I believe that it's truly depending upon us how soon we can bring that business to the pre-COVID levels. Coming back to the working model. So the working model also personally I feel has drastically changed post-COVID, which is actually good because travel partners are today self-learning. Sales are happening through Zoom calls. The efficiency of staff working from home is actually not that bad. And they save time in commuting, especially in a city like Mumbai, where an average time to commute is 3 to 4 hours. So I think there's a lot of learning curve for everybody today working from home. Sales is happening through Zoom, travel agents coming to us and doing self-learning through online digital platforms. Yesterday, there was a Reconnect platform, which is an online exhibition. It was pretty successful, actually. People are adapting to these things. So we need to, re-innovate, and our approach has to be changing as per the times, at least for the next 6 to 8 months, because this period is very, very important, and everybody is judging everybody. How do you handle your customer support and everything? So, for example, in the lockdown, We did not have a single call we probably missed. So 24/7 we were operational right from the day one, and we answered every call, and people were sitting at homes and answering these calls. So the
Right.
tech that we put behind this, and because of this, I feel hopefully things will be turning out to be much faster than I expected it to be for us.
So if I have to translate whatever you said, if you continue to work the way you did pre-COVID, 31st March 2021, you would have probably reached a 70% of your mark. But that additional 30%, which you're saying you will make up to 100, is really coming through aggressive customer acquisition, new models, new technologies, new drives, which you're putting in place. That's the incremental business, literally, right? Uh,
Absolutely.
Obviously at a much lower customer acquisition and operational base. And what would be that operational base and cost reduction, not in value terms, but as a percentage, if you were to look at it?
So the cost reduction is something which I think everyone could have done and has done in the lockdown period, because April and May there was practically no airline flying. There was nothing. There was no business at all. So obviously there was a cost reduction done to a tune of 20 to 30%, and a lot of people, unfortunately, they lost their jobs all around the country, and we were no exception of that. But gradually things are going back to normal for us because we are not giving up. If we are going to try and acquire these customers faster and be able to build on quickly, then we are hopeful that things will go back to normal within maybe 1 or 2 months for us.
Right, right. So since we are talking customers, let's talk consumers. Obviously, your customers, you being in the B2B business, are travel agents and intermediaries and resellers and so on. But let's talk about the consumer behavior for a minute. What kind of pressure do you think the consumer behavior would impact to your distribution model, inability to adapt? And do you see it changing permanently to what we see today?
What I feel, Ashish, is that India had started to become a spending economy. The public wanted to live for today rather than saving for tomorrow. I think that has definitely changed post-COVID with the current economic circumstances that no one had thought of, has made them to realize that savings are extremely important. So definitely there will be an impact on customer spending, and they will be much more, they'll think 10 times before doing any expense. Earlier, people were taking holidays every weekend, and they would take a flight to Goa and spend 2 nights over there with their friends and come back. So I think that might get impacted to a certain extent. But having said that, the hotels and resorts have already started discounting and selling at unbelievably low prices, which has and will encourage people to travel. And with the push of social media and a fear of missing out, will encourage people to travel and experience stays which cannot happen at such prices at normal times. So the consumer demands are changing drastically, and they are very well aware of the things that they want during the trip. This means that a travel agent servicing such customers needs to be more aware and should know more than the customers to create an impact on them, which is needed to gain customer confidence today at the most. So if my travel partners today can give that confidence to the travelers that things can be done, and you pre-book everything, someone will come and pick you up at the airport, and it's completely safe to travel, I think gradually people will start traveling. In fact, yesterday there was a group who went to Dubai, a group of 20 people. So things have already started happening, and these people are spreading the word on social media. Once you have this, the consumers will start believing, and everybody is tired of sitting at homes. They want to get out, even for a small break. They will get out. I feel so. So definitely for a short term, that impact is there because of the economic crisis. But the will for travel will be at the highest point post everything is normalized.
Yeah, I've always found the hotel segment to be very rigid. And what I'm liking is that suddenly the rigidity on tariffs, not in terms of pricing alone, but the normal check-in, check-out 12 noon is fast disappearing. I mean, you can book by slots, you can book by hour. And earlier, the hotel revolved around you being the guest in the hotel. And suddenly you have day vacations, like you can go for a do, use the swimming pool, have a meal and be out of it and still get a tariff packed in. So, I mean, I'm liking this multi-dimension look some hotels are beginning to to look at themselves. And I hope it's here to stay, because there are facilities which hotels spends money in, be it gyms or be it swimming pools or be it restaurants, which should be open to public, if I may say so, rather than to residents itself. You see that as a model for tour operations in a good perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. Hotels are very flexible today, and they are willing to make adjustments to accommodate their customers and try to earn that additional revenue. In fact, I'm a hotelier myself in Mumbai.
Yeah, you got that.
And
Just give our audience 2 lines on this hotel of yours.
So Grand Residency is a service department based in Mumbai,
Right.
and it's one of the best service departments in Mumbai. In fact, we got covered from Louis Vuitton in their travel guide as one of the best service departments in Mumbai, after Taj Wellington News, of course. And we, in fact, started doing IPL matches at the hotel. So people can come up, 8 people can come and stay in Mumbai at the hotel and watch an IPL match together, which they cannot do right now because people are avoiding going to their houses.
Yes.
Especially in Mumbai, COVID is crazy right now. So
Yeah, pretty neat. I mean, I think your earlier career and days were spent with managing the hotel part before you came into TripJack, didn't you?
Yeah. So for a very short period of time, while the opening of Grand Residency was happening in Mumbai, I was one of the project managers for the same. And I used to work in day in, day out. I stayed at the hotel for 2 weeks and final operations had happened. I was part of that for a very short time.
Okay, so let's talk about the Millennium segments. And there's been so much spoken about that. Does that change in a manner now, post-COVID, and how does it impact the whole thing?
So our primary business focus always has been in the B2B segment, where travel agents are more like consultants to their customers, wanting to provide multiple products, where we feel there is a need to give them the right tools to manage and sell these products seamlessly, and make sure that there's a constant touch point created for their customers to interact with them and make cross-selling possible to help our travel partners increase in their revenues. India's 50% population is below the age of 25, and more than 65% is below the age of 35. The demands of these customers are changing very rapidly, and these millennials, they don't want to, probably talk to a brick and mortar travel agency alone. So we're proposing a hybrid model to our travel partners, where we can give them technology solutions, power up our APIs, and give them a B2C platform, very customized solution, which can be segmented in selling to these millennials who currently want to do their self-booking. And at the same time, they have convenience of a travel agent who is available on a WhatsApp, even if you're traveling, and he can make those changes for you. So there's a hybrid solution. If both come together seamlessly, and if our travel partners are up for it, I think it will be a great thing to experiment and see whether it works.
Yeah, talking about being up to it, I mean, I definitely see a role that they could incrementally increase their own business, because there is a limit to which you can handle by sheer number of people calling into your office or manpower, etc. And if you are able to drive it on web, that's only incremental for them. So yeah, so there is future in that. But
I'll tell you, I'm sorry to add to this point. The way I'm trying to increase my business, I want my travel partners to increase their business. They are currently working from an area in Delhi, in Mumbai, in Bangalore, and they have these set of customers today who they are only talking to. If I can try and help them create more touch points between their customers, more customers, then probably my business can also increase and they can also have that stickiness.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing, because traditionally I've seen travel agents hiding behind this OTA versus non-OTA debate and pricing, etc. When I use the word hiding, I use it for a fact that there is a lot they could have done themselves to have improved their own efficiencies to be able to counter that. But I take it COVID would also take away the deep discounting and the pricing factor away, because there is a limited money you can pump in to acquire a customer, naturally, even for the OTA. So certainly there is sustainability that. But let's talk more about sustainability, and how do you see TripJack maintaining that?
Travel industry overall, Ashish, for us has been very kind to us. And to be honest, every year rapidly we were growing, constantly evolving and adapting in order to build a sustainable business model. In our case, we feel that these changes have helped us grow, where complexities are increasing and opportunities also created. which we have been able to successfully ride on. So I believe there is an opportunity to rebuild travel and do it better. While anyone is growing, they tend to make decisions, and decisions fast sometimes lead to some unnecessary costs. It is necessary to identify these costs and bring these recurring costs down, because it's really important for the next 3 to 6 months for us to be able to survive and take out this painful pain area that we are all going through right now. I think technology induction, which we have done in the last 3 months, probably what we could have done in 9 months, has helped us in bringing a lot of efficiency into a lot of practices, a lot of operations that we had. I feel it's extremely important to bring in good technology play for us, which we have done, and automate a lot of processes and add more products. And obviously, sustainability will come through higher revenues, which we are obviously focusing on by building in hotels, by building in insurance, by building in Umrah packages. There are many, many products that we are planning to bring. So this is a phase which would pass in the next last 3 months. The way we've grown, I feel if we continue to do the same, things will go back to normal fast. So I hope that everything is sustainable for us.
So while we close, tell us about this IPL thing Karthik was mentioning.
We are so bullish about the B2B travel business. IPL is one of the examples that we've done. So we've launched India's first and largest IPL fantasy league exclusively for travel agents. It's purely an engagement platform for the industry. It's completely free for anyone in the fraternity to play. Cricket is one of the most favorite sports of Indians, right? And IPL viewership is growing every year, especially this year since this is the first major cricket tournament since the pandemic started. Hence, we started this to bring some excitement among trade partners. There are daily matches which can be played on an app that can be downloaded from tripjack.com or played online as well. I encourage everyone to play and test their cricket skills. At the same time, stand a chance to win daily rewards in the form of Tripjack coins. We are calling it TJ coins that can be redeemed against discounts on any future bookings on the platform. There are many more prizes to be won, free flights, hotel accommodations, even a cruise on Jalesh, which is starting from November or December this year, can also be available.
Yeah, all that you're saying, I'm only, while you were saying, I was tempted to think about Paytm's app being pulled out from Google for violation of certain practices, etc., arbitrarily for 7 days. So, as to what they constitute was gambling, according to them, on many things. But, those are real fears we know we all have to live with as far as Google and the app stores is concerned. Yeah, sure. Good. So on that, you have something parting before we sign off, and I look forward to welcoming your dad in the near future.
Yeah, absolutely. So all I have to say is that the price for success is hard work. Let's have some patience and continue to do what we do best. And at the same time, try and grow our businesses. Let's not get demotivated. Our trial partners, if all of us are together, we can overcome this. Let's stick to our core business, service our customers, and of course, have some patience and successful follow.
Right. Good. Well, thank you, Hussain, for being here with us today. And let me pass you back to Karthik, and I'm sure he has got a question or two already up his sleeve. Karthik, over to you.
Thanks, Ashish, and always great listening to inspiring entrepreneurs like you, Hussain. I just have a small, and this is more like a personal question, although people have been asking me all sorts of questions in terms of definitive timelines for when do you foresee, but I'm sure you would agree that nobody here could actually crystal gaze and commit to any timelines. So one question I wanted to ask you is that in medium to long term, how do you see the B2B business? Do you think there is a space for a lot of regional B2B players to exist, or do you think in the longer term there'll be a consolidation and only one or two super large B2B players will only exist in the Indian market?
So the reason why probably not many people have joined business is because it's so cutthroat, right? Today in the market, there are very few players who exist and they're very, very large. I think maybe it's because IATAs have to change and start favoring travel agencies rather than only favoring airlines. I'm very vocal about it because during the crisis of Jet Airways and Kingfisher, we did not get our refunds, neither we got our incentive payouts. So if there is any change from ITA as a guideline, I think overall there will be more people who would be motivated to join the industry, because currently there is a misbalance and that needs to get changed.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think on this note, we are out of time, sharp on time. So thank you so much, Hussain, for joining us and sparing your precious time. And I, on behalf of Hussain, I'm going to urge everyone to participate in the TripJack IPL Fantasy League and spread the message around, so more and more can participate and actually win some of the amazing prizes they have. So with this, thank you so much again, Hussain. Thanks, Ashish, as always. Isha,
Thank,
Hussain, you want to say? Yeah.
thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks
Catch,
everyone for joining in. We'll see you on
catch you
Thursday.
later. Okay, yeah. Bye.
Okay. Thank you everyone.